You clicked on the video, you're here for some tips, so we're not going to waste any time. When you see a red hit marker, this means you are fully penetrating the armor of your target, dealing full damage. White hit markers mean that you are matching the target's armor type. For example, hitting medium armor with medium armor penetration. This does reduce damage, but it still has an effect on the target. And this ricochet icon will show up if your rounds are just bouncing off the target. This means that their armor class is higher than your armor penetration, so you're dealing no damage. And this is why people get addicted to medium pen. Many enemies have different armor levels for different parts of their body. Over time, you will learn which body parts to attack with what weapons and what armor penetration, but it's something that you'll want to know going forward. And many enemies also have critical weak points and limbs that you can blow off. There are way too many examples to talk about in this video, but just keep that in mind. When you're running around during a mission, loot everything that isn't bolted to the ground. There is no limit to the amount of samples you can carry, and they don't slow you down. Take everything you can, wherever you can, whether it's a common sample, requisition, just pick it up. Missions are completed the moment that you complete the main objective, even if you don't extract. As long as you have already finished all of your main objectives, you don't need to reach the shuttle for the mission to count as a success. But extracting will give you bonus requisition and bonus XP. So try to get to extract, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Medals, super credits, and requisition are immediately added to your account when you pick them up and are given to all squad members. You don't need to worry about extracting with any of these items. However, samples do need to be extracted, and you drop them when you die. This applies to all types of samples. You need to carry the samples into the shuttle for them to, be added to your account. A good way to earn extra medals is by doing your personal orders. Personal orders are essentially just daily missions. They give you 15 medals each, and they're usually very simple. So if you're bored and you have nothing to do, consider hopping on and doing your daily personal order, because eventually you're going to end up with quite a bunch of medals just by doing this once a day. If you see these shipping container looking things, blow them up because they have loot inside. Each of your body parts have their own health. If a body part reaches 0 health, they will break, which will come with a negative effect depending on the body part in question. If you break a leg, your stamina will be reduced to 0 and you will move very slowly. If you break either of your arms, your aim will suffer, but if you specifically break your right arm, then that will also reduce your throwing range. If your torso runs out of health, you will begin bleeding out. And if your head reaches 0 health, then well, you just instantly die. Explosive damage is reduced by 10% while prone. Make sure to get on the ground if you're gonna get blown up. So this is great for if you're way too close to an orbital strike, or if you're fighting like rocket devastators or war striders. Always go prone if you think you're gonna get blown up. And proning is actually faster than diving. So if you just need to get on the ground fast to avoid explosive damage, don't panic and dive, just go prone. The location of the Democracy Space Station, also known as the DSS, is voted on by the players. If you want to know where the player base is at and where our general goals lie as a community, go to the system where the DSS is stationed and fight there. And if you want more detailed information about the Galactic War, check out the Helldivers Companion. It is an excellent website with tons of info to sink your teeth into. It is insanely high quality, and it's all run by the fans. I'll have a link in the description, so go check it out and consider supporting the site with a donation. Destroying enemy outposts and spawners will obviously cause those spawners to stop making enemies. However, this will actually increase general enemy spawns for the rest of the mission, things like patrols. So keep that in mind. Sometimes destroying an outpost isn't always the best idea. Completing the primary objective in your mission will significantly increase the amount of enemy patrols that spawn on the map, and more enemies will start spawning around the extraction point, so keep that in mind. Support weapons typically take less time to call in than backpacks, so call in backpacks first to save a few seconds and get in the fight faster. Yeah, it's a minor difference, but it takes no effort to call in the backpack first, so just do it. I do it all the time. Please remember to keep your distance from your enemies. Helldivers don't have a lot of health, so try and take cover and retreat when it is appropriate to do so. Don't let yourself get surrounded by enemies. Even if you're playing melee, don't let yourself get surrounded. Try and, use it appropriately. Make sure that you try out items for yourself. If it's a weapon, a stratagem, a booster, or an armor set, try them out for yourself before you let the community's opinions cloud your judgment on them. Even though I make tons of videos judging the items of Helldivers 2, it's all just my opinion at the end of the day, so you don't even need to listen to me, really. You can interact with your own backpack by hitting down on the D-pad or 5 on the keyboard by default. This lets you do a bunch of different things depending on what the backpack is. With the supply pack, it lets you take supplies for yourself. With the guard dogs, it calls them back to the backpack so that they don't, go around shooting enemies if you're trying to sneak by. And with the portable hell bomb, it arms the portable hell bomb, so make sure you keep that in mind and don't fat finger it because you might kill yourself and your teammates. The ballistic shield backpack will protect you from the front when you're holding a one-handed weapon, and protect you from the back when you're holding a two-handed weapon. Just because you didn't bring an SMG, it doesn't mean that this backpack is useless. It's actually quite good no matter what loadout you're running. Weapons that have the rounds reload keyword don't lose ammo when reloading because they don't use external magazines. They instead load rounds manually into an internal magazine one by one. This mainly applies to weapons like shotguns, but it also applies to items like the Deadeye and of course the Senator. Most energy weapons in the game do not need to be reloaded at all unless you fully spend a heat sink. So if you can avoid bringing that bar all the way up to the top on your weapon, you can just use the weapon for as long as you see fit. Make sure to switch it up and switch to your primary, your secondary, and your support weapon. Change it around so you don't overheat your weapon too fast. If you are in the middle of diving when you throw a stratagem or a grenade, this will travel considerably further than just standing there and throwing it. This is really useful for trying to toss an orbital into an enemy base, or trying to get a sentry out far, or whatever. This is a tip that everyone should know because it just helps you increase your throwing distance whenever you see fit. The host of the match obviously has the ability to kick players from the squad if they're griefing or whatever, and don't hesitate to do this if someone is griefing you or just in general pissing you off. What this does is it simply disconnects them into their own version of the same mission, and they don't lose any progress. They can get replacements and you can get a replacement too. Do not worry about kicking people, it's not gonna hurt them. I mean, it might hurt them emotionally if they're, a child or whatever, but just don't worry about it in general. And here's a bonus tip. Never turn down a hug or a handshake. You don't want to hurt your teammates' feelings, and you definitely don't want to lose at rock, paper, scissors. And there you have it. That was 20 tips for new players in Helldivers 2. I hope you learned something here today, and if you did, let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any tips that you want to share with other players, also leave those in the comments. And as always, I want to thank my generous channel members: Swickety, Archangel Shipyards, Dirty Nightmare, Not Saint, Findas, ODST Exotic, Cheddar Yes, Manubi, Asmobius Infinitum, John D. Roll, and Good Night. Thank you all for continuing to support the channel, it means a lot to me. And that is all I have for today. This is Grand Moff Togan of the SES Prophet of Dawn, signing off.